Guys, the biggest sale of the year is ending at Barbell Apparel. Have you ever struggled with jeans that hug your quads just a little bit too tight, or clothes that don't quite fit right? Well, I've been there, and that's why I'm stoked to tell you about Barbell Apparel's biggest sale of the year. All jeans and pants are $50 off, and if that wasn't enough, get 50% off all items site-wide. I've been rocking their gear for a while now, and the comfort and fit is unmatched, especially for guys like me that don't skip leg day. Quick heads up though, they have sold out for 8 years straight, so don't miss out. Get yours while they last. Go to barbellapparel.com/Chael to grab some new gear from my personal favorites and level up your wardrobe game, or just click on the link below. How much does the crowd affect you? How much does your fighter affect you? Have you ever heard the expression, especially for guys that talk trash and they come after you a little bit, that you're trying to get in his head, you're trying to play mind games? That might be true. I just know nothing about it. I've been asked it a million times. I don't know anything about it. When I used to go after guys, trying to pick a fight or trying to tell them what I'm going to do in the fight, I did it out of respect. I have a complete different opinion of respect. And I watched all these guys talking about respect, bowing to somebody, and they would stick a knife in that person's back the moment that person turned around. But somewhere that was supposed to be respectful because you saw it in a martial arts movie. They got sped up and voiced over and played at 3 a.m. It's a really weird concept. But what most people do have as a frame of reference, and it was all people back when I was fighting. All they had for a frame of reference of what martial arts are is whatever they saw in a movie. That's true. People used to talk about the honor and the respect of the martial arts. And I would say, but where did you see that? You don't know martial arts. You haven't been to a martial arts tournament. The only thing you know about martial arts is what you saw in a movie. It was a very interesting phenomenon. So, you'll have people that'll do that today. They'll have seen an alien and they'll describe the alien to you, but they described E.T. They described what they saw in a movie. Like, that's a really weird coincidence. Whether it's accurate or not, that's a really weird coincidence. And then it's always a flying saucer and it's always this little disc. It's like you described what's been in Hollywood for a number of years. Like, it's very bizarre. Coincidence. And the reason I bring that to you, when we're beginning to look at getting in somebody's head and how could they be affected by the crowd, there are certain guys, whether I don't know anything about it or not, there are certain guys that want to be loved so much. They need it. And you'll know who these guys are. They can't hide it for long. They'll come out, they'll be brash. They'll be coming over the top of a guy. Announcers, pundits will be saying, well, he's doing that to get in the guy's head. He's not doing it to get in the guy's head. He's coming at the guy as the aggressor because there can only be one. And if you take control of the stage, the guy won't come after you, and you don't want him to come after you because you need to be loved so damn bad. We used to have something called the underground forum. We still have it, but it was like the only forum and the only place online where you could discuss MMA with other fans, fighters, media members. All of us went there. Promoters went there. And you would have guys that made a statement and it would get some heat and they'd run it back. Hey guys, hey, I thought about it. And you're right. And you're now seeing guys in the world of Twitter, where they call it X now, in the world of Twitter, that will delete their accounts. And not only will they delete them, they'll publicly delete. Like, they'll make a statement before they delete. If you want to delete, just don't go back to your account. You don't ever have to get rid of it. You don't have to turn it in. Push the button on your phone or have a discipline and just don't open the app in the feed. Right? It's one of these really weird things. So they identify themselves to you. They will let you know who the sensitive guy is, who the person that can't handle is. They'll let you know. Now, the reality is it affects a lot more fighters than just the ones that are sporadic or don't respond to fans as a way of not reading comments at all. Like, it affects a lot more guys, but most of them can keep it to themselves. But they will alter their statements and alter their tones. They'll know when to be self-deprecating, based on the reaction they're getting from the audience that they don't even know, and they can't handle it. And I say that to you because my sense is that Ian Garry is one of those guys. And Ian has had the audience eating out of his palm. They love him. They love him at the press conferences. They love him at the weigh-ins. I was at his last fight. It was in Boston. Oh, my goodness. This crowd was so behind him. It's unbelievable. Ian Garry had done his own media. The way the UFC works, right? Travel day is Tuesday. You don't do anything on Tuesday but travel in. Wednesday, they're going to run you around. Thursday is going to be a press conference and a media day. They will not mess with you in any regard. Nothing will be booked, no matter the opportunity, no matter the placement on the card, no matter what a star you are. They will not even call you on Friday. All you need to do is make weight. After you make weight, you are still completely clear. Competition day is Saturday. Travel home on Sunday. Fly home, wash your clothes if you work with the company. Tuesday, you travel back out to the next town. I mean, this is the schedule. And Ian Garry on his own, that's why I know he booked it. He did an appearance on Friday night after the weigh-ins in Boston, and he did it at a bar. He did an open workout. They cleared a space, and he comes up with a coach, and he's doing the mitts, and it was great, and it was packed, and it was so successful, the police came in and shut it down. Made him nervous. They didn't know what the hell's going on. Hey, what's this guy doing? He's throwing punches in a bar. You know, he's wrapped up. He's got the glove. He's got his trainer there, but the police shut it down. And I only share that there's not very many guys that would have done that, but there's not very many guys that could have done that would have filled up a bar on a Friday night, that would have a line out the corner to the point that it gets the police's attention, and they come and they shut it down because you were so successful. This is how much they like Ian Garry. So when he has T-Mobile booing and heckling him at this coming fight against Luque, how is that going to affect him? How is he going to respond? You can say you got ice running through your veins. You can say you zone that thing out. But everybody gets affected by that. I must tell you. I guess you'd have to call me nobody then, because I did not, but you'll see referees. You'll see the best referees in the world that are going to make a certain call, but if the crowd starts getting anxious, they'll make a different call, particularly in the stand-up part of it. A referee will bring a guy to his feet faster than he normally would if the crowd collectively boos. That's all that has to happen. And we haven't had a referee yet that could stand up to it. If two fighters are on the cage and that crowd starts booing, maybe one of them's a hometown guy, just by example, and they start booing, that referee will break that action, which he normally would not have. And I'm just speaking to the human element of it. What is Garry going to do in that situation? And there's not a number of ways to avoid that situation. The only way was to take this thing head on, and it would be behind us. Sean responds, he responds. Sean speaks, he speaks. Garry does what he did in Boston. He calls media appearances. He calls me, he asks for a Zoom, we get it out, we put it out, all of a sudden it's boring, it's old product, right? Whatever media goes first and gets Ian Garry and gets him to address this is going to do a whole bunch of clicks. The next guy's going to do a whole bunch less clicks. Do it again and again and again until those views and clicks and interest reach nothing. No media is going to ask a question that they don't think that the audience wants to know. And the audience does want to know, does not want to know, things that they already know. But that time has elapsed. And it's not what Garry did. And I'm only bringing it to you because there is going to be a reaction to the crowd. There's going to be a reaction by the crowd. And then there's going to be a question of how does Garry react to that reaction? How does the crowd that he worked so hard for, that he had eating out of the palm of his hand, that he had flying in, chanting, cheering, on their feet, merchandise wearing, at his last fight, and all of a sudden that's not the case? Does it affect him? I don't have the answer to that. But I think it will. And I think the fight with Garry and Luque is a very close match. Regardless of rankings or skills or experience, the fact that they know each other so well, that they're teammates, that they're friends, they're workout partners, that just makes for a close match. In any sport, any way you want to do it. That training partner now knows you. You know him. It nullifies a lot of things. I also don't know where Garry has been training. I trust that he is, by the way. I don't suggest for you that he's going to show up. I mean, he wouldn't be able to make weight if he's not trying. I trust he's getting his reps in. But I don't know where. And there doesn't appear that there would be a coach that oversees that. Right? It doesn't appear that he has the team yet. That he goes in and he's got his own guys and his own coaches and his own practice, and he just needs a facility. It doesn't appear as that. And I've asked the question a few times, and nobody's answered me. And you can telephone, telegraph, or tell a fighter, the word's going to get out. If Ian Garry's in a room, somebody's going to be taking photos of that. Somebody's going to be putting that on Instagram. And I just don't have the answer to that question. And I don't bring that. I bring that only because, again, that's another hair, right? That's another little millimeter. Having to shuffle and change gyms and change training camps. But we're playing a game of inches, particularly in a matchup against your former teammate. So now you got the crowd, you got whatever this is with the gym, you got whatever stresses, you've got a reaction that isn't the reaction you thought it would have. There's only one way around that, which is to get in front of it, get out and do it before this event. And that isn't what he elected to do. So I'm just sharing with you, if you are looking at outcome and you thought Garry was too much for Luque, if you thought that, I think that you would at least concede to me you do expect it to be close and competitive. For no other reason than how well they know each other. And now in this game of inches, it would seem there's a couple of things, maybe not for Luque, but against Garry. And it's food for thought. Like whatever storm is going on right now in Garyville, if he suffers his first loss next Saturday, it's going to be that storm times 10. If he gets a victory, that storm goes away. And it's a tough spot for a young man. It creates a pressure. It creates a drama. I'm identifying it for you so you can witness it.